Alright, so this is what you'll need to make some delicious home fries. I'm telling you, the diner in your neighborhood, they're going to be knocking on your door, asking for your home fries, my style. Alright, some potatoes. I have 5 here. It's a shame because these potatoes, like this is perfect for fries. But these are the potatoes I have left. You want to scrub them, right? They're still a little wet. I was scrubbing them in the sink. A whole onion, I like red. You can use white. You're gonna need a bell pepper. So what I've done here with these bell peppers is I have different colors, different strips. Well, I stripped the orange one. I got a, well, strip, that sounds fresh. I cut it into strips. Green, red, yellow. And what I like to do is when I get a pack of bell peppers, I like to clean them, cut them into strips, and freeze them. That way, whenever I need them for a stew or soup, I'll just take a couple out. If they're frozen solid, just, run it under warm water, and they're ready. So I'm going to freeze these. You're going to need some garlic. These are pretty big cloves of garlic. I'm going to take 3 of them. Altogether here are 6. Oh no, 7. Wow. I'm going to take 3 of them and use them in the beginning, and then the rest we're going to use later. The seasonings you're going to need: salt and pepper, and the only other seasoning I'm going to add in is paprika, whatever. We're going to have some olive oil used in this, and butter. We're going to put in some butter. Okay? You're going to need a nice big frying pan. I have my large frying pan here ready on the side. And we're going to boil some water, or get some water on the boil there. You see that pot? Okay. I'm going to start by cutting up the potatoes. Alright, so the potatoes are nice and cut up. It doesn't really matter what shape. I mean, they're going to change shape when you cook them up further. So, you can square them, you can make some circular, doesn't matter, okay? I also took advantage of the time and cut up the onion, garlic, and peppers. And as I mentioned, did I mention? I don't remember. I took 3 of the cloves, and what I did was I crushed them, okay? We're going to throw them in the boiling water with the potatoes to release their goodness. The only other vegetable that it's not here, but I may add on other occasions, I've added it in the past, but I'm not in the mood for it, is celery. But I don't want celery today. Alright, so let's go on to the next step. Okay, so here my water's coming up to a boil. I'm going to add some salt. A little bit. It's not even a teaspoonful. I'm going to start dropping the nice potatoes in there. And I don't want to burn myself, so I'm going to accelerate time. Yeah, since I didn't have a cameraman, I don't want to dump them all in there and burn myself. Okay, so they're in there, and do you remember those 3 cloves of garlic that I crushed? I'm going to throw them in there too. You could slice them in half if you want, but I think they'll do their job fine that way. So we're going to stir it, and I just want enough water so that the potatoes are submerged, so you can change the amount of water according to how many potatoes you have. Okay, and we're going to boil it here. I'm going to start with 10 minutes and then take a fork and stab a couple, not violently but lovingly, to see if they're nice and soft and ready. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to take the rest of the vegetables and I'm going to stir fry them in the pan a little bit. Alright, so here's my pan on, what is this? Low medium heat. I'm going to start with half a teaspoon of olive oil. Not much, or any other oil you have. You could use vegetable, you can use, I don't know, whatever oil you have. Alright, I'm going to, just cover the base of the pan with the oil. And I'm just going to stir fry the vegetables so that they get nice and soft. I'm gonna turn the heat up to medium. Okay. Get in there. Ooh, one of the onions went down here. Hold on. You were cordially invited to this. So, why are you leaving? And this is just to soften them up a little bit. Okay, this shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. I mean, it also depends how soft you like the onions and the peppers. Some people like them very mushy. Other people like them, you know, to so they can bite into them. Crunchy. So I mean, I'm gonna have this on here for about 4 minutes and then come back to it. But it depends what you like. I mean, most people don't want crunchy vegetables in their home fries, but I know people that, like I said, they like to be able to crunch into them like weird. Anyway, I'm gonna cover it for now. Where's my cover? Here it is. You know, this also help it sweat a little bit. You know, like they're working out in the pan. Okay, we'll come back. I do want to mention that I covered it, and I am gonna lower it. I'm gonna put it back to like medium low, more toward low, for the rest of the 4 minutes that I'm, you know, trying to get the vegetables nice and softened. Okay. Okay, I removed the cover. Actually let 2 minutes pass, you know, first, just to take a look at them. And yeah, they're getting nice and glazed. They sweated out some of their water. And some of them are getting nice and toasted too, like pieces of the garlic and whatnot. Alright, so this is the right direction that the vegetables are moving in. Alright, so I'm going to cover it and let it go for the rest of the time. Bam! Alright, checking again on the tenderness of the vegetables here. I mean, this is good enough for me. If you want it a little softer, I mean, I can see the onions. Yeah, the onions are nice and, you know, soft but not too soft. They have some crunch. The peppers too have some crunch, but they're not as hard as before. So, I mean, if you want them softer, leave them, you know, in the pan on low heat for a couple more minutes. But this is good enough for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it and keep it covered and turn off the heat. And that way it'll, you know, continue to cook a little more. But my potatoes are still on the boil. Remember, we're going to leave it in there 10 minutes and then check on them. Okay. Alright people, so it's been about 10 minutes on the potatoes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fish out a couple and see if they're at the nice softness that I want. Let's see this guy right here. Okay, not bad. I would say he's ready, but I want to check others, you know, to make sure that they boiled up, you know, evenly. So here's some others. Let's see this one. Okay, good. Good. This one you can see it's a little tougher. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it in here another 2 minutes or so, then drain it. And remember, they're going to soften when we put them in the other pan too. So you can take that into account. It all depends on how you like them. So they seem okay, they seem fine to me. But just for those others that are a little tougher still, I'm going to leave it here 2 minutes more. Okay. Okay, so I drained the potatoes and moved the vegetables over to this burner. And what we're going to do is, let's give them a nice mix in here. I'm going to bring my potatoes right over. Wepa. Okay. I'm gonna give them a good mixing, good stirring, trying to get all the ingredients nice and mixed up here. Okay. And we're gonna just leave it here maybe a good 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back to it. By the way, I forgot to mention, this is on very low heat, kind of like a simmer. When I had poured out the water, drained the potatoes, and moved the vegetables over to this burner. It's on very low heat. Again, I'm just gonna leave it here for about 2 minutes. Alright, our time has passed, so now, now I'm gonna season it. Okay, how much salt? Everyone has their own preference, but I'm gonna put in that much salt. Shout out to my friend Josh, who laughs at my approximations. Black pepper. Pepper, that's right, I'm from Brooklyn. Pepper. If you're from someone else, pepper. Or pepper, I don't know, whatever. And paprika or paprika. Gives it a nice color. I'm gonna dabble on there some, dabble? Is that the right word? I'm gonna put a little olive oil. That was about less than a teaspoonful. And I'm gonna give them a nice stirring, mixing. Okay? It's still on low heat. And when I mix it, I'm gonna be able to, you know, to kind of crush some of them. You see, they're soft enough to crush. Maybe crush is a strong word. Soften or okay, mash. We're gonna mash some of them. Okay. Ooh, get back in there, baby. Get back in there, baby. You can see it's taking shape. It's looking like home fries you would order from a diner or something. Okay, give them a nice stirring, a nice mixing. You're gonna press down on some of them to get some of them nice and mushy, while at the same time leaving others whole. Alright, now, okay, I'll approximate. That was about a teaspoon of salt, or half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, black pepper, and as for the paprika, whatever, pimienton, I just sprinkled on. Okay, so now the other thing you're going to do, which health nuts may disagree with, I'm going to take a nice knob of butter, break this bad boy in half, and I'm just gonna put pieces of butter strategically. Was that on each corner? Whatever. Big one here. Alright, I also wanted to mention another seasoning. I had mentioned before about how you can add celery, and I don't want celery today. The same thing with the seasonings. I would usually also add in garlic powder and onion powder, but you can see I put a lot of onions in there and a lot of garlic. So that's another thing. That's up to you. That's totally up to you. Okay, low. I'm going to cover it. Let me make sure it's really on. Oh no, wait. Now it's on low. Kind of like a simmer. And it's going to be there maybe a good 5 minutes. If you want to crispen some of it, you know, some places when they make home fries, you know, some of it is like crispy. What you would do is you would put more olive oil like there on the sides. And I mean, the butter also worked to crispen some of it. I just want some of the butter to melt for the next, you know, over the next 2 minutes. See? Then I'm going to give it a nice mixing, a nice stirring again. But we're going to do that in 2 minutes. Alright, my 2 minutes have passed. I'm going to, you know what, I changed my mind. I am going to put garlic powder and onion powder because it's my prerogative. That's about almost a teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we go over to the onion powder. Same thing. Okay. Smells nice. I'm gonna give it another mix in, another stir in. And you can see that these potatoes, these home fries, are absolutely diner ready. Don't be surprised if like your local diner knocks on your door asking you for the secret recipe. Alright, so these are done. But again, if you wanna like crispen some of it, okay, what you would do is I would take a little olive oil and like put it off to the side maybe somewhere. And that side of it, you leave it in, maybe you put up the heat a little more. Leave it there a couple minutes more. And you got a nice situation with your home fries. Alright, let me show you how I'll serve this. Alright people, so in my humble opinion, this is the best way to have home fries. 2 eggs, some bacon. You won't believe what kind of bacon that is. It actually looks like pig, right? A little hot sauce, ketchup, and I will be ready to go. What you can also do is you can garnish it with like maybe, I don't know, something green like parsley or something, which I don't do. And also, some diners in the city, I notice, they actually, in order to make it look shiny, they'll then top it off with a little bit of the oil that they cook it in. And I don't know, I don't want to do that here. So this is it. Here you can see how I made home fries.